I'm Karen Scott from Newcastle University. I'm a researcher and also a beekeeper in the northeast of England. And I've come to Orkney to research beekeeping in the Orkney Islands, which is right up in the north of Scotland. A set of islands. The beekeeping is very challenging here and very interesting. There are about 30 beekeepers on the whole islands. The weather is very harsh, a lot of wind, the season is very short. And so this is Janine, one of the beekeepers here. I'm going around interviewing all the beekeepers, or as many as will talk to me. Some beekeepers are very private, so they don't want to see me, but most beekeepers have been having nice interviews, and I've been learning a lot about Orkney beekeeping and the challenges of beekeeping here. So you see here in this apiary, the beekeeper Janine has planted a shelter of trees, and most beekeepers on Orkney have planted a shelter for their beehives, without which it would be very difficult for the beehives in winter. So many people have had to screw their beehives into the ground or strap them down because they would just get blown away. The winds are incredibly severe here, up to 122 miles an hour last February. And the wind chill factor is extreme. So it's very important that people plant shelter, that they keep their hives protected, very challenging conditions. One of the things we're also doing is trying to find older beekeepers who have a lot more experience of Orkney beekeeping and have seen how beekeeping has changed over the last few decades as agriculture has changed, lifestyles have changed. So we've been having some very nice interviews with older beekeepers who can remember perhaps when they were young, maybe their fathers or uncles or grandfathers even kept bees, and how it's changed within living memory. And that's been very, very nice to learn about that. As agriculture in Orkney has intensified, it's meant that there's less forage for bees, and it's even more challenging for bees to live on Orkney. Some farmers are trying to move back to more traditional methods of agriculture or organic farming, trying to introduce biodiversity on their farms, trying to plant forage for bees. You can see here, Janine has planted willow, which is very good for bees. She's been here 30 years. She's planted all of these trees that we can see around us, without which bees would have real difficulty surviving here. One of the main crops on Orkney is white clover, which is a fantastic forage for bees, and the honey it produces is very, very delicious. So white clover is the main honey crop here. One of the really interesting things about Orkney is that there is no Varroa here yet. It's a very serious issue for the beekeepers here. One beekeeper said that they're really beekeeping on the edge of what is possible here. So if Varroa comes, that's an extra challenge and may mean that many beekeepers will give up beekeeping. So it's very important that Varroa doesn't come here, and the beekeepers are trying to raise awareness for new beekeepers not to import bees, and also trying to lobby the government to put a ban in place to stop the import of bees in Orkney. So it's a lot of pressure on local beekeepers to try and raise enough bees to give to new beekeepers so that they don't import bees, and also to mentor new beekeepers.